Folks, it's quite a drop down here, probably a good few 100 feet. As I take the bike down the hill, I'm quite amazed that the Sterling can go down such gradients, and it's a virtually take anywhere type of bike, especially if you got the one with the chunky tyres, which I do recommend. On the 20.7 similar bike, you don't get chunky tyres because the stanchions or the forks, they won't take chunky tyres, unfortunately, so you're kind of got to be looking at the 20.8 if you want that, if you're going to go off-road. And I think there's even a new one now called the 20.9. Great bikes, folks, and one of these days I'll get around to doing a complete review on it. But as for now, I just wanted to sort of talk about a wee subject that kind of come up with me over the last few weeks, and that was, should we still be working in our retirement, folks? Now, a big question, I know, because a lot of people will have big plans and what they're going to do when they retire, or the places they're going to visit, or the things they're going to do. But to be honest with you, folks, a lot of us have these big plans, but we didn't put them into fruition. We just sort of talk about them, but we never actually go and do them. And like myself, I didn't have great plans, but I'd a feeling I'd be out on the bike a lot, I'd be travelling a lot. But okay, I've been travelling a wee bit, but I've not been travelling as much as I thought I'd be travelling. I think the big reason for that is my wife's still working. She's a wee bit younger than me, so she's not retired yet. And travelling on your own is a big step, especially if you're not used to it. And I've got to admit, I didn't particularly like travelling on my own. I think you get fed up just walking about on your own all the time. So should you be going back to work, folks, to try and, it's not just about the money, it's about something to do and all that sort of thing. Now, folks, I know I shouldn't be riding the bike in this kind of area because there's far too much foliage, and I've got long grass I've got to negotiate, but it just goes to show you that a Sterling can do that. It's a go anywhere bike, folks, as I've said. If you're thinking about one, I would sort of look at the Sterling. But folks, going back to the topic, should we get a job again or whatever? In my case, I've always kind of worked for myself, and for about 6 weeks of my retirement, first 6 weeks or so, or first 8 weeks if I can remind right, I just didn't do nothing, well, I thought, right, I'm having a rest, and I'm going to read books, I'm going to go out on the bike, but I found that wasn't taking up all your time, and you were getting bored and fed up. You were in the house most of the time. I mean, I wasn't watching the TV because I'm not a TV person, but I was sitting about, I wasn't doing a lot, and then I realised, well, would it be better if I just kept on working? And so I decided just to, no full time, but just keep my eye in on things. And I'm a second hand dealer, basically. I deal in second hand stuff, and I thought, right, I'm going to go back to that, putting the odd thing on eBay, and I've got to that wee jungle, folks, there, and generally keep myself busy. And I found it lifted a wee bit of that depression that was coming on. I'm back to this wee stairway again, folks. I come down here a lot, and I can usually, it's one of my favourite places because there's a lot of calmness here, for me anyway. So I'm going to go back down again today. But I know a lot of you will say, no, your retirement's for enjoying yourself, and that's fair enough. That's if you can enjoy yourself in the waking hours all the time. But there's times when you get a wee bit fed up, and you'd been maybe used to working most of your life, and I think I've been always used to doing something, keeping my eye in, trying to make a few bob, and it's hard to pull away from that, because I quite enjoyed doing it. It wasn't a job I hated doing, although sometimes, you know, like every other job, you know, you had your bad moments and you lost out on deals, etc., and you just said to yourself, right, I'm not doing this, I'm going to get a 95 or something. But a 95 sort of job I didn't think would ever sort of suit me, folks. I like too much to have a wee bit more freedom than that, and having to answer to a boss and all these sort of things. So I'm kind of more my own boss, and back on the bike. So I thought to myself, right, apart from getting a bike and apart from all the things I used to enjoy doing in retirement, I just felt it was time to sort of look at maybe going back and doing a wee bit of work. And okay, the money does come in handy, but it's not the be all and end all. Sometimes it is the be all and end all. Sometimes you've got to keep working in retirement. A lot of folk do have to keep working in retirement, folks. But as I look around me, folks, you know, sometimes, you know, going back to work just help you a wee bit. You know, you get back into a kind of routine, a way of life that you had. You just can't sometimes give up a way of life just because you've retired, and I think you've got to sort of keep your eye in more or less all the time, to a certain degree, or you just sort of, you know, you get fed up. You realise that, you know, retirement can be a thing that slowing you down, that's making you stay in your bed longer in the morning, all these sort of things. Now, I was never one for staying in my bed, but I'm finding it sometimes hard to get out your bed. I just think to myself, I didn't really have to get out my bed, so I'll no bother, you know. And is that the attitude? No, I don't think so. But if you've got something to do, like the minute I started sort of taking on more responsibility and saying to myself, right, it's time I got back into working, even if it's only a few hours a day, then it was definitely a plus point. It sort of, you know, it got me back in the routine again. It got me away from that sort of, well, impending depression that was coming on because I wasn't filling my time. Okay, I was going out on the bike, I was going the odd holiday, even the odd day here and there, all that sort of thing, but it just wasn't enough. You know, you were coming back and just sitting in the house. I kind of didn't watch the TV, but I was just sitting, basically, you know, I was reading books, and then I was getting bored with this, and I was doing this and doing that, and things that weren't interesting me, and I just was getting into a routine where I was getting really lazy, and I just felt, well, it's time I sort of started again. So I don't know if you can relate to that, folks. Now, folks, a lot of my friends are quite wealthy, and I'm the poor relation, I'll go to admit, and I think I maybe mentioned this before, and they're all still working. And I say, look, if I had, I mean, I used to say to them, look, if I had all the money you've got, I'd be going to America, I'd be going to Australia, I'd be buying a big fancy car and all these sort of things. But, you know, it isn't everything, and they're still working away. Some of them are nearly 80 now, and they're still working because it's what they like doing. And it's just a way of life, you know. It keeps them happy. If they didn't do it, they'd become depressed, and that's what they've said. If I didn't keep working, it doesn't matter how much money I've got, I didn't want to go around the world, I didn't want to do this, I didn't want to do that, I just wanted to keep working. And it sort of got me thinking, and I says, oh no, it's no for me. As soon as I retire, that's it, feet up, or go out on the bike, or as I say, go on my holidays. But it turned out they were right. I mean, I've still got to do something, folks, you know. And even if it's just a short time, even if it's an hour or two a day, you've got, even if you're not making money, it's just a way to sort of keep yourself right. And hard to explain, I know, but if you've just totally gave up and says I'm going to do nothing, you'll maybe understand. You'll maybe realise that I'm right, you know, that you're doing the same thing and you've become a wee bit down about it because you've no filling your time. And so that's it today, folks. That's the question. Should we keep working in retirement? If it's helped you any at all, folks, could you maybe do the usual, like and subscribe to my channel, and hopefully we'll see you all, folks, in the next video. You take care and bye bye for now.